the WTF podcast, a show hosted by Austin Martin. You've come to the right place for self-improvement. Tune in weekly for new episodes covering topics from fitness, finances, frequencies, family, and friends. Learn, educate, and elevate yourself. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Here now is the host of the show, Austin Martin.
Hello and welcome back to the What the F podcast. I'm the host, Austin Martin, and I just wanted to thank you guys so much for tuning in to the first episode of the podcast and for sharing, liking, subscribing, all the information that I'm trying to provide to you guys and put on to you guys. I really enjoy talking about things I've learned and what's helped me in my journey. So thank you guys for staying tuned and for, viewing this episode. Today, I wanted to talk about the power of small steps in your guide to transformative self-improvement. Now, what I mean by this is you may have a large attainable goal, but that goal cannot be achieved unless you set small, realistic, and attainable goals. So along the journey of achieving a great and, a grand goal, celebrate the small wins along the way, and don't forget to even set the small goals, because the small goals is what's going to compound and accumulate over time to ultimately make you successful in reaching that one goal you so passionately desire. The first thing I want to talk about is the art of setting an attainable goal. It's very important to have these goals because you need to keep the discipline in the process of self-improvement, and setting small goals holds you accountable and makes you disciplined. For example, a couple of my personal experiences, I had this big goal when I was younger to hit $100,000 in my savings. And at the time, it may sound so unrealistic. Like, I had $5,000 saved. How am I going to, get $100,000? I'm not just going to get this in a year overnight. What I did was, with the money I would make every week, I would say 500 to 1,000, so be it. And over time, over the period of a year or two, that $100, $500 to $1,000 saved per week turned into $100,000 in the savings. So that's just an example of how you set the small goals, like just a small goal of saving that little money per week or per month. It accumulates over time. And for example, during COVID, I had a goal. I was like 185. I wanted to get down to 165 pounds, and I wasn't going to lose that weight overnight, over a period of a month, over 2 months. If I wanted to be sustainable and keep the weight off for good, I'm going to set small, realistic goals. So what I did, I have a notepad till this day that every day of every month for the past 3 years, I've written down the workout that I have done that day. So, example, a left side of my notebook will have half the month, and the right side of the notebook will have another half a month. So I started with 25 push-ups a day to 25 pull-ups and 25 reps of abs. Each month that increased all the way up to 300 push-ups, 300 pull-ups, and 25 reps of abs. Or 300 reps of abs. And not only did I do that, my miles per month, per day, increased from 3 miles a day per month all the way up to 7 miles per day of the month. So setting these small goals adds up over time. And, I was able to lose that weight and keep it off because my habits changed, my behaviors changed, and I set goals that were realistic and achievable. I divided it up into small little goals and small little wins along the way. Now, I want to encourage all of the listeners right now to identify one specific self-improvement goal that you like to work on and pursue it with a fucking passion. And if you can, comment what that goal is and what you want to work on for self-improvement. And I like just to share my thoughts and see your journey along the way. Now, the second segment of this podcast that I wanted to overview was, we have to embrace continuously learning. there's so much value in lifelong learning and correlated to personal growth. To achieve a goal, you must surround yourself with that goal daily, like whether it be informative podcasts or videos about that topic. Maybe you want to learn more about finances and goals in your business. Well, pick up books, financial books, start digesting that information and reading that information and get it engraved in your head that you're gonna achieve this goal. And these are the steps for me to reach that goal and to move forward in my desire, whether it be to scale your business. All right, pick up a book by Alex Hormozy, How to Get $100 Million Offers, $100 million Leads. Like, digest this information, whether maybe it's a podcast, we're like constantly always learning. And once you feel like you have everything figured out, you failed. So never stop learning, never stop, having the desire to be educated, and don't be a fucking smartass. I don't even know that much, but I constantly pick up books and I love digesting information, and I love sharing with others the things that I've learned. And by sharing with others what I've learned, that makes me a better teacher and engraves the material in my head better. There's so many accessible resources nowadays too for like self-improvement, such as books, podcasts, online courses, like I had mentioned. So there's no reason for you to not learn and gain more knowledge about, something that you're passionate in. YouTube University is free. Like, how many people have been educated off YouTube? How many times have you clicked on YouTube how to do something? Like how to open a wine bottle without a cork. Like, come on. Put in the shoestring, the knife, do your thing. YouTube University has so much free game. So really use all the resources. I mean, AI now too, GPT. You could type something in and it'll give you a whole sermon on, what a topic is and go into detail. So never stop learning and constantly surround yourself with knowledge, because you need to embrace continuously learning. Some of my favorite books are, Man Up by Bedros Keuilian. It taught me to take accountability and to, have a meaningful career and a passion and know what it is that I want out of my career. Same with, Lewis Howes, The Greatness Mindset. That book is really good because it puts you in the mindset. All right, you take a score right at the beginning of the book. How am I in my health and my fitness? How am I with my business? And how am I with my relationships? You give yourself a score, and then you divide those 3 scores, and it gives you a scale 1 to 10, whether you're championship ready, playoff bound, you have some work, you're still in the rebuilding process. So books like these put you in that mindset, motivate you, keep you disciplined, give you tools. So never stop learning. Always be willing to take advice from somebody who is educated about something. You need to know the tools to build healthy habits. Now, the science behind habit formation, there's this thing called cue, routine, reward. Habit is often described through this process. It's a cue, routine, reward loop. And a cue triggers a habit, we perform a routine, and then we receive a reward. So for example, stress might be a cue, and this might lead to stress eating, which is a routine. You become habitual stress eater, and the food is the reward, which provides temporary relief, like instant self-gratification. So to create new habits, you need to make small changes that, ultimately end in big results. So there's this thing that I found online. It's called the Kayesian principle. And it's the idea that small, consistent changes can lead to significant improvements over time. So instead of, radical transformation, focus on tiny, manageable adjustments to your routines. So start small, like I said. Begin with a manageable goal. Maybe it's like, do 10 to 15 minutes workouts a day, daily. And if you don't want to drive to the gym, you don't have to drive to the gym. Get down, do 25 push-ups, do some ab crunches, do air squats, do lunges. Your body is such an amazing vessel. Like, you don't even need to go to the gym to see progress. You'd be surprised how much of a difference you can make through your body composition by just doing body weight workouts. And don't forget that consistency is key, just like anything else. If I want to have a successful podcast, for example, I need to produce, I need to get out episodes, and I need to let my voice be heard. So with anything, consistency is key. If you want to scale your business, you got to constantly be reaching out for leads. You got to figure out what it is going to take to acquire, a lead. Like, what is my acquisition cost per customer? Just things like that. Like, just be consistent in whatever you do, whether it's diet, health, and whatever it be. Just be fucking consistent, because along the way you will lose motivation, and consistency needs to kick in. Also, have accountability. Share your goals with friends and others who are like-minded, and use apps to track your progress. This keeps you accountable. For example, accountability could help maintain motivation when motivation is lost. So this is very important. Also, another tool to create healthy habits is mindfulness and reflection. Regularly assess your habits and see, are they aligned with your goals? And along the way, you could make adjustments as needed. But if your habits aren't aligned with your goals, then all right, back to the drawing board. What do I need to change here? So for example, I want to build more muscle. So every day I put creatine next to my coffee, because I know I'm gonna make my coffee. If my creatine's in the drawer, out of sight, out of mind. Sometimes I won't take it, but just me putting that little creatine jar next to the coffee creates that new routine, that new habit. So that's how I can make adjustments as needed, because sometimes I find myself not taking it. And you need to replace negative habits if you haven't already, because you need to identify the harmful habits. Maybe you're addicted to pornography. Maybe you're addicted to food. You're a binge eater. Maybe you like smoking, whatever the fuck it is. Take those habits and replace them with something positive. Like, even if, after the gym, I like smoking a bowl of weed, and then the rest of the day I'm lazy. Like, no, go for a walk with your dog and get some fucking sunlight. And after that walk, you will feel so much better. Like, even replacing excessive screen time with reading. Like, change the way you're viewing. Like, stop looking at the screen, start reading a book, because there's so much information in books as well. So that's just an example how you could replace bad habits. But I encourage all you listeners to pick one positive habit to start incorporating into your daily routine. Now, the fourth segment I want to cover is the significance of a growth mindset. And it's the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. Like, you could acquire any type of skill by just being a hard worker and being dedicated in whatever you're doing. So it's saying, like, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And I've always stuck by that. I've always used that as like fuel to keep me going and being like, I was never the tallest, the strongest, the smartest, but I was always the hardest worker. Like, junior year 4.0, senior year 4.0. Like, I was never smart. I was just a goddamn hard worker. So, embracing a growth mindset definitely opens up the possibilities for learning and improvement, because it fosters resilience, it fosters adaptability, and a willingness to take on challenges. And there's definitely strategies of, cultivating a growth mindset. You need to embrace challenges and learn from failures. And like I said, effort definitely matters. And when those aren't, going well, you need to seek feedback from others. You need to, change your self-talk, how you talk to yourself, and you need to surround yourself with growth-minded people. So those are just ways you could cultivate a growth mindset. And basically growth mindset is a key factor in self-improvement because it shapes your beliefs, your attitudes, and your approaches to challenges. And by cultivating a growth mindset, you can unlock your potential and continuously evolve in areas that you think you weren't capable in your life. And basically the last thing that I wanted to touch on was celebrating progress and staying motivated. Like motivation and positive reinforcement. Talk good to yourself. Hey, I may not see progress visually, but my deadlift just went up 25 pounds. Like I just got stronger. Like there's things that are measurable that you could be like aware of that. Hey, I may not see it visually, but it's measurable. I've gotten stronger. Oh, I've made more money from my business. I've increased in this area. So definitely have positive reinforcement. Tell yourself you're worthy of being fucking achievable of your dreams. And like I said, track progress. Sometimes you have resilience through setbacks. So if you do have a setback, you're going to come out the other side 10 times stronger. I guarantee you. And if you do have something that sets you back, you navigating through that obstacle is going to set you up for your future business and everything else you are determined to do with that goal. So just realize it is a lifelong process, and it's not a destination, but a lifelong journey. Shout out to Matt Jaje. And there will always be room for growth and development, and never stop achieving your goals. Like set up small goals and just attack them daily. Just get at them. So I just want to reiterate the message that if you have a goal, set up small goals. You need to be undeniable. Make yourself undeniable. They may not like you. They may not respect it, but be undeniable. When you're undeniable, nobody could say, oh, well, this isn't good. This isn't good. When you're undeniable, there's no room for fucking discussion. Like you did it. So I appreciate you all for tuning into this episode. And, anyone seeking inspiration and practical guidance on their path to self-improvement, continue it on in the comment section in the chat below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share.